Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Lore Master, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today, we are actually doing a request. Someone has asked that we stat the Resolute-Class starship, basically the 25th century version of the Excelsior.
One of two, potentially.
Yeah.
The others being the Obena from Lower Decks. I despise Lower Decks, but it does have a pretty good boat lineup.
Yeah.
And the Excelsior 2 from Picard.
Yeah.
Both of which would really be an STO by now.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the actual stat block, let's take a look at the design itself. It's very sleek and streamlined like the Excelsior, though it's got an extended saucer section. It's even more streamlined than the Excelsior, with more curves and less sharp angles in the secondary hull.
I hate the saucer section. It's proportionally wrong.
Yeah. And those warp nacelles.
Cancer.
Yeah. Nacelle cancer. Honestly, this is also... I think the Resolute is also one of the older designs. So, Cryptic needs to give this design some touch-ups and maybe and hopefully redesign the warp nacelles.
Not to mention give them a nice proper dark blue and a nice deep red for the Bussard collectors.
Yeah, that bright blue and the orange. Oh my word, the orange. Anyway, let's get to statting this thing. As usual, first things first, we need to figure out the service date. This will help us determine the system points.
I can't see any registry codes on this thing.
Yeah, my guess is if there are registry codes, they're hiding in that black section, which...
Hold on, I think I see them. And there's our usual problem. It's using a 4... It's got a 5-digit code, but it starts with a 4. Yeah, the usual mistake. This is what happens with the non-remastered designs.
Yeah.
In case anyone's wondering, this was actually a mistake with the Andromeda class, where they had a where they started with a 4-7. People have an obsession with that goddamn number, and it needs to stop.
Yeah. Anyway, we need to figure out a year for this thing, and given the design...
2405.
2405, yeah, standard. Basic stuff there. So that gives us 60 points in... 60 points on average. Now we need to figure out the scale.
Considering this thing is roughly the same size as the Excelsior.
And the Excelsior is scale 5, that would make this thing a scale 5 as well. This gives us 1 extra point for a total of 61.
And of course, that does bring up a singular problem. This thing is just a modernized Excelsior.
Right.
Which means it has pretty much all the same goddamn stats as the Excelsior.
Right. Might as well just use the Excelsior as a baseline and modernize it. Alright, let me look that thing up in the book. We can use that as the baseline. Okay. In Utopia Planitia, the Excelsior launched in 2285 with a re-engineering in 2291. It has comms 8, computers 8, engines 9, sensors 8, structure 9, and weapons 8. So that's, let's see, 16 plus 16, that's 32 plus 18. That's a total of 50 points. So, yeah. Just need to add 11 more points. So at least one more point in everything. So we'll start with comms 9, computers 9, engines 10, sensors 9, structure 10, weapons 9. That brings us to 18, 27, 36, 46, 56. We need 5 more points.
I presume, considering this thing's special abilities, the tactical maneuvering matrix, quite a bit would go into propulsion.
Right. So engines engines to 11.
I'm not entirely sure about the weapon system. We can see quite a few phaser arrays on this thing. The blackened area. It would almost be cheaper and easier just to look at this thing in the ship viewer, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I've also resolved part of the problem by actually giving this thing a proper reskinning.
Okay. Resolute. Sovereign skin.
It works. Alright. I'm seeing one huge-ass phaser array on the bottom of the saucer section.
Yeah.
Two phaser strips, 3 on the engineering hull. 2 in the secondary, 2 on the base of the connecting strut for the pylons.
Yeah. That's quite a lot of phasers.
To be fair, this thing is designed to perform the Excelsior's job while being more modern at it.
Right. Okay, we'll put weapons at 10. I think we might do okay. So if we were able to give this thing a full 12-point things, it would be comms, computers, sensors, and weapons at 10, engines and structure at 11. One of those things, engines 11 and weapons 10 are fine, but one of those values is going to be one of the remaining 4 is going to be one value lower.
I'm not entirely sure. This isn't typically a command vessel.
Yeah.
Sure, admirals can use it as a flagship, but that's not what this thing's designed to do. It is the replacement to the backbone of the fleet, the Excelsior.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll leave comms at...
Well, using most of the Excelsior's structure.
Yeah. We'll leave comms at 9. Computers 10, sensors 10, weapons 10, engines 11, structure 11. That seems good. Now, next up, we have our department scores. Now, the Excelsior had engineering +2, command +1.
I'm going to have to say it doesn't change. This thing is just a modernized Excelsior.
Right. So 2 points to engineering, 1 point to command. Alright, weapons. Strength 4 tractor beam, as typical for a scale 5 starship. Tractor beam strength is one value lower than the scale. Now, the Excelsior had phaser banks and photon torpedoes.
I presume this thing's going to have both photons and quantums, a la USS Lakota. Ha ha.
Right. So
Up yours, go-kart.
yeah. So we will do. Well, let's see. Phaser. Do we want to upgrade the? Do we want phaser banks, phaser arrays, or both?
Considering the two hard points, both. Those are heavy phaser beam banks, designed specifically to fire forward.
All right. Phaser arrays. Phaser banks. Photon torpedoes, quantum torpedoes. All right, we have our weapons. Now for talents.
This thing most definitely has quantum slipstream.
Right, that would be like a special rule, additional propulsion system quantum slipstream. Several of the 25th century ships actually have that kind of rule. Let's see, quantums. Let's see, special. The Reliant had it first. Quantum slipstream burst drive. Not quite a full quantum slipstream, but so special rule quantum slipstream burst drive. We'll put that in later. I will put that in with the special rules. The talent for the talents, the Excelsior. Scroll back up to the Excelsior. Come on. Okay. The Excelsior class had improved warp drive and secondary reactors.
I see absolutely no reason to change that.
All right. So, the Resolute gets improved warp drive, secondary reactors, and then we go to special rules. A special rule. Want some these special rules.
I presume
Quantum slipstream burst drive. Okay. Yeah, basically most of the STO ships have quantum slipstream burst drive.
considering what it nearly did to to Voyager twice.
Yeah, just doing it in bursts is probably good. Yeah. Anyway, that should do it. Federation Starship Trade is the best we can do here. Is the main one I can see, and I can't see reason to add anything more. And I think that's it. This was, well, we were basically updating a canon design, so there wasn't much to do.
When something works, you stick with it. And
yeah.
as we've all very much realized, the Excelsior class doesn't need to be changed. It just needs to be modernized. It is the B-52 of Starfleet.
Yes.
In fact, the only thing you really need to do with the Resolute
is change the warp nacelle, is adjust the design of the warp nacelle so they don't have cancer.
Boy.
And maybe adjust the saucer section a little bit.
Yes, make that registry bigger and less annoying.
Yeah, make the registry bigger and less annoying, and
actually fit the goddamn time it was made. These are not 4-digit. These are not 40s vessels. They're 90s.
Yeah. As usual, I will provide a link. I will provide a link for Ron to add to the description of this video. We will see you on the next ship, viewers.